Hello, my dear friends. My name is Harold, and welcome to the Sanctum, your gateway into learning and experiencing the ancient wisdom of the East and West. If you're new to this channel, please remember to subscribe and click the bell icon and like this video. It'll help this channel grow. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about spirits. What are spirits, and whether I think spirits are influencing us in a particular way and influencing our lives and our mindset and are creating changes in our lives. Well, first of all, in order to answer this question, let's analyze what we could mean by the word spirit. So we've got 5 elements. 4 of these elements can be associated with fire, air, earth, and water. A combination of these 4 particular elements can lead to a 5th element, or what we call the quintessence. That's an alchemical term. And this quintessence is known as spirit, which is the 5th element. So spirit is the essence of all that is. Okay? Spirit is the element of consciousness. If your consciousness was made with a particular kind of energy or with a particular quality of an element, it would be that of spirit. So with that which I've just said, the nature of our awareness, that essence that is looking through your eyes right now, beyond your own name, beyond your own personality, beyond who you think you are, beyond the individual ego and all the constructs that we may have collected over a certain period of time, that element of yourself that is unsullied by all of these things is spirit. So you may have a spirit. Now you may look at your cat or your dog or your goldfish. They have a spirit too. Now this spirit, in animistic traditions such as shamanism, whether that's Native American shamanism or shamanism from Africa or shamanism in some of the other traditions in the world, may see the world in an animistic lens. So what I mean by animistic is that everything has a spirit. Everything is alive. Everything is spirit, but in a very dense form, right? So you are essentially a spirit with a body. That's why you can move around and experience reality in the physical. So can your cat and your dog. But what about plants? The physical body of a plant is the plant itself. But the plant also has a certain kind of consciousness, a certain kind of energy. It has a spirit, which is what shamanic healers work with. When they work with plants, they work with the spirit of the plant. They get to know the plant. They may consume the plant. They may do certain ritualistic practices with the plant. They may meditate with the plant in order to get to know its medicinal components. And it's the spirit of the plant that they're working with to administer a certain kind of medicine to somebody that they're trying to treat. Now, in the animistic tradition, everything is seen to have a spirit. Your neighborhood park will have a spirit associated with it. Your house, your home will have a certain spirit to it. This may be known as the spirit of place. There might be a spirit of place in the forest that you may visit, or in a desert, or up on a snowy mountain, or in an ocean, a vast ocean, or a simple lake. All of them might have a certain spirit that is associated with that archetypal essence of that area. Back in the day, they may have called them spirits for a reason. Nowadays, because of physics and all of this and quantum physics, we know that everything is energy. This is now more and more a fact. Everything in our reality is energy. So these spirits that we're talking about are essentially energy forms. Back in the day, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, we didn't have that scientific and physics backing to tell us that this is energy. But even back then, they knew that it was just energy. So these are energy forms that we're talking about. Compartmentalization of particular energetic forms that may have specific vibrations, that may influence your vibration in a particular way. And oftentimes, all spirits, whether they're something like the spirit of your chair that you're seated on right now, or a little bit more of a bigger spirit like the spirit of the park that is close to your house, all of the spirits are associated with certain elements. All right. So there's earth, air, fire, and water. So of course, if it's a lake, it'll be the element of water. If you're up on a volcano, it might be the element of fire. Or if you go out into a forest, it might be the element of earth. And of course, if you go up on the mountains, it might be predominantly, first of all, there might be element of earth, but there might also be spirits of the air. So in the Hermetic tradition, spirits of the various elementals were given certain names. So spirits of fire were known as salamanders. Spirits of water were known as the undines. Spirits of the air were known as sylphs. And the spirits of the earth were known as gnomes. So these particular spirits are known as elementals and are present wherever we may be. Now, if we are close to a fire, these salamander spirits of the fire might be more dominant because we are near an open fire. In the same way, if you are in your bathroom, the dominant elemental spirits might be water, because there is a lot of water likely in your bathroom and you use a lot of water there. If you're up on a mountain, the further you go away from the earth as you go up high, there'll be more spirits of air. Just like if you live up on a skyscraper, the likelihood of there being more spirits of air are higher than if you are closer to sea level down on the ground. If you're closer to the water, there'll be more water. And of course, if you're outdoors in a park where there's a lot of greenery and trees and all of that, there'll be more spirits of earth. Now, all of these particular elemental spirits, if you look at Greek mythology and all of these other older traditions, they talk about different names for different other subspecies of different spirits. So we are interacting with these all the time, whether we are aware of it or not. And some would even say that, if they litter out in a park and you finish your can of soda and you throw it away without thinking and it hits a tree or something, and it can anger the spirits of earth, and the spirits of earth that it annoys will start to follow you home and because earth rules materiality, luxury, and all of this stuff. You might have trouble at your job, or it might try to mess up your finances, or it might try to get you to spend a little bit more than you normally would and kind of mess you over in a certain way. Same with the spirits of air. If you anger them, they can cause you confusion or make you mess with if you're traveling, they might get you to get late a little bit, cause delays in your journey. And maybe even cause arguments between you and your friends. Same with the spirits of fire, can elicit anger within yourself and trouble and accidents and things like this. And spirits of water can affect your love life and all of this stuff. So these are very well known in shamanic traditions and animistic traditions, and even in yogic traditions. And this is why certain practices, meditations, rituals, offerings were given in these traditions to calm down the elements that you may have annoyed, or to allow us to live in a harmony with these spirits, because they're there with us, they're a part of us. When we breathe in, we're naturally breathing air. Right? So these particular elements are constantly working with us, these spirits are working with us. And the ignorance that people may have about this may cause problems in their life. And this is where, in a very esoteric perspective, people who may run into a long period of bad luck may have had some involvement in maybe annoying one of these spirits or some of these spirits. Now, these spirits that I'm mentioning, that this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that there is to say about this, which is why I think it's going to be a much longer series than what I'm sharing right now. So one way, if you feel that you may have angered a spirit, if you've been littering, definitely or very, very likely you would have annoyed an earth spirit. But there are ways that you can repair your relationship with spirits, and that is done by giving offerings, right? Another very important, and I'll talk about how to give offerings and things in a video to come, but another way is to ensure that you are protected when you are going outside and doing something. And I will place a link up here on a protection that you can do every single day. Before you leave your home, or as soon as you wake up, if you do it every single day, this will ensure that when you go out, you are less affected negatively by the interactions of various spirits. I'm talking about spirits that are beyond that of just the elemental realm. Although most spirits can be boiled down to these 4 elements, they can also be boiled down to the 7 different planets, the 7 traditional planets: the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. So this is actually a very deep and complex subject, which is why I just want to give a quick introduction to this entire subject on this video. But I hope to make more in-depth videos on my Patreon channel in terms of how we can work in harmony with these spirits, which are essentially just energies. So if you want to follow that, you can find a link on the screen in front of you or in the description box below. So thank you, take care, and I shall see you very soon. Peace.